have no idea how to tell this story. I don't even know how to start it. This is the story of my senior year of high school and how it destroyed my life.
Your father and I want to talk to you about something sad. Rachel Kushner has been diagnosed with leukemia.
That sucks.
It sucks.
It sucks quite a bit.
Welcome to What the Flick, everybody. We're all here. Ben, Matt, Alonzo, and Christy, me, and Earl, and the Dying Girl. Did you see it?
I did.
Did you see it?
I did.
I saw it too. I'm going to describe it. So this was the big darling at Sundance this past year. It won both the jury prize and the audience prize at Sundance. It is a teenage coming-of-age movie, but there's a lot of depressing stuff that happens here. Thomas Mann stars as me. R.J. Seiler is his friend Earl. Olivia Cooke is the dying girl. She has leukemia, and it's what happens during their senior year in high school when they all are forced to hang out with each other. Take a look.
Everyone was gonna find out sooner or later.
One thing you can do if you don't want to talk to anyone is just enter a subhuman state. Pretend you're someone annoying.
Hi, Rachel. I'm really sorry you have cancer.
That's exactly what I'm talking about! So if this was a touching romantic story, our eyes would meet and suddenly we would be furiously making out with the fire of 1,000 suns. But this isn't a touching romantic story. Anyway.
Yep.
We make films.
Movies?
They're terrible.
Greg, you never told me.
The idea behind each one was, we took a film that we liked, and we made the title stupider, and then made a new film to reflect the new title. It's a formula that only produces horrible films, but for some reason we keep using it.
You need to make a film for Rachel.
Hi, Rachel. I don't really know you, but I believe in you.
I know you're Jewish, but God has a plan for you.
Out of all the people in the school, I don't hate you.
Damn.
You guys were making a movie for me.
We tried a bunch of stuff, and it's not that good.
Now is not the time for your I'm Greg, I suck, nothing I do is any good thing.
We agreed to do a film that we have no idea what it should look like, or even be. What was I thinking?
I'm so tired of you treating this girl like she a burden. Because somebody actually cares about you, her life is over after this.
Life can keep unfolding itself to you just as long as you pay attention to it.
It was the best of times. Worst of times.
It's so much harder than I thought it would be.
It was life.
So this is really twee. This is a big ol' early Wes Anderson / Hal Ashby ripoff in every way. Tonally, structurally, the little bitty details, the fact that these two guys love films so much that they do knockoffs of everything in the Criterion collection, from like the 400 Blows to Mean Streets to Rashomon to Clockwork Orange, and they do acknowledging how bad their little movies are, but they're charming and the details are funny, and this won me over in spite of myself. It's, you know where it's going. It's very self-referential. It's very knowing, and I liked it. I was kind of charmed. You were not. Do you want to talk about how charmed you were?
I was going to wait for you guys to talk about it first, that you liked it.
Pee all over it.
I thought this movie was cute. Look, like it to me, it runs right up at the border of being too cute for its own good, right? And towards the end of it, I started thinking, I'm like, this is, the tragedy of suburban life. But I thought it worked. Amongst the things I like, I found that the dialogue between these teen characters worked. It sounded natural. As much as we may look at it kind of twee, like as kids are that age and go through that kind of stuff, like those feelings are real to them. And it strikes me that the character, I think his name is Greg, is almost like the opposite of Ferris Bueller. Like he doesn't want anyone to notice him. And look, like, yes, this is a story about a guy who really doesn't have any problems, kind of looking at his own selfish life, looking at himself selfishly in the context of, things around him, most notably the girl who is dying of leukemia. But it still kind of worked for me. And I found it, satisfying, and their love for film goes a long way. There's a lot of charm here. This movie we've talked about, I think we've used this in relation to other movies. This is that puppy that that clumsy puppy that you kind of can't help but like, at least as far as I'm concerned.
But you know what though? It's not a clumsy puppy. It's a really meticulously made and precise in tone and structure kind of puppy. But yes, a puppy. And I think in terms of it wanting you to like it. Come like me.
And look, it's totally predictable. You see the stuff coming a mile away, and that's okay.
Da, 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 da.
Okay, here's why you're wrong.
Give it to us.
No. I was, this was one of those Les Miserables experiences where I was surrounded by people at my screening being all, no. And I was just going, oh, God.
I didn't cry. I'll admit that.
A lot of crying at the screening I went to. And if I had seen this movie when I was 17, I think I probably would have gone for it hook, line, and sinker. I think this movie is so lodged up its own ass and so self-conscious and so self-aware and so proclaiming itself as it goes along. I mean, every scene opens with a chyron that says the part where blah, blah, blah happens.
Right.
And it's like,
Day one of our doomed friendship.
Yeah, like, oh, shut up, movie.
But
Just let
Rushmore
me...
does that.
Oh, but
Other movies do
Rushmore
that.
does it brilliantly, but you know what? If you don't do it brilliantly, it's annoying as fuck. And this movie is annoying as fuck. You can put that on the poster if you want. Oh God, it just drove me up the wall. The films they make are so like. No high schoolers working on the fly the way they do are going to make this something so slick and processed.
Of course not.
It wasn't
but
nearly
also bad. But also bad.
But bad in quotes, though. You know, and frankly, I thought that was done much better in a movie that I also was not crazy about, which was Be Kind, Rewind, where they did those little, the Sweeting films. I found these characters insufferable, and it's so the movie is so precious and so phony, and it just got more and more annoying. And I went in, I'd heard all the Sundance raves, and this is the indie movie of the summer. I was really excited to see it.
Right, it was big at Cannes.
Yeah,
They play there too.
Oh, really? Okay. And it's about film geeks. I thought, okay, great, these are my people, and it's just like, ugh. So yeah, I am not down for this. I get why people like it, and I get why it has received acclaim, and I may be the worst person on earth, and you'll love it, but I have to be honest here, I had a miserable time at this.
No, I loved their friendship, the friendship between Greg and Earl, and how unlikely that is, but nobody ever has to go out of their way to explain that this is an unlikely friendship, right? Greg is like middle class white. It all takes place in Pittsburgh. Greg is middle class white. Earl is black, lives in the poor part of town. But there's never like any kind of, oh wow, we shouldn't be friends. And it's just a given that they have gelled since kindergarten.
I like the way this movie shoots working class Pittsburgh, like the way it shoots those houses. That's very cool. I enjoyed that, but
I will say the girl is kind of an idea. Rachel Kushner,
yes.
I want to say is her name. She's not manic or pixie or dreamy, but she is an idea, and she transforms this person who was skimming the surface of life, and forces him to dig deeper into his emotions he didn't want to acknowledge he had. She makes him better.
Another woman on the funeral pyre of making white guys feel something.
Yeah, she makes him better, but they have some nice chemistry.
And, okay, here's an example of the bullshittery of this movie. All right, she's gorgeous, and then she goes into chemotherapy and she's bald and still gorgeous, and all she can talk about is, oh, I'm so hideous now, ugh. And then and the whole movie, the whole movie, the lead guy is going, I have a weird rodent face. I'm so awful. It's like, no, you're movie star handsome.
He's not.
Everybody in this movie, shut the fuck up. You are not ugly. And if you had cast ugly people, maybe. But you are all lying to me. This movie is lying to me.
No, I would not say that they are all movie star handsome. They look like normal people, I would say.
They are attractive
She's
and
cute.
eccentric. He's eccentrically cute. She's just straight up cute. And so, I did not buy the, oh, I'm so hideous now. No,
But when
honey.
you're a teenager and you're full of angst, you think you're ugly.
I guess, but
give her that.
But this movie never is so not interested in her inner life until suddenly it is, and it's like, oh gee,
And the details are very like Wes Anderson and Twee.
But
and
she
Forsyth,
calls him out on that. There's this great scene where the Rachel character calls out Greg on that, and it's this really emotional, ugly, uncomfortable scene.
In one long take, by the way.
Oh God,
it's
I
really
thought
well,
it's really well done, and yes, I think this movie does make some mistakes in that respect, but I think it doesn't. The Greg character doesn't get a pass that way. There is that very emotional moment where she's like, "Don't make this about you." Effectively,
but the movie does make it about him. Even I don't want to get into spoiler territory here, but it never stops being about him. Even when it does occasionally call him out for it having been about him, the movie is all about him.
But he has to learn and change. Me.
Yeah, it's me first.
It's not the girl who's dying and then Earl.
She gets third billing.
And this is a movie kind of inspired by the director dealing with the death of his father.
Alfonso Gomez Rejon.
Yeah,
from Laredo, Texas.
And so at the end of the movie, there's for
his father.
For his father, and I think you see that in here. And yeah, is this a movie done by somebody who may have been narcissistic, or is very narcissistic and dealing with their feelings of being left? Sure, but that's still kind of interesting.
And teenagers are narcissists. So it's about me.
But I don't know that it's a commentary on narcissism as much as it's an indulgence in narcissism, but obviously your mileage may vary.
An opportunity for catharsis. I should mention really fast, Molly Shannon plays the girl's mom. I like her very much in every scene. She's like kind of boozy and kind of a mess in every single scene. Connie Britton does not get a whole lot to do, but she makes a ton out of a very poorly written role.
Yeah, I was shocked at how little they gave her to do, and Nick Offerman didn't get much either.
Yeah, Nick Offerman is the Greg's sociologist dad who walks around in muumuus all day and makes weird food.
And John Bernthal.
Molly Shannon movies in the same day?
Oh, yeah. Is Molly Shannon anywhere in the SNL doc? Do they interview her for it? I don't remember.
She's not interviewed, but they do.
But they do. There you go. It's Molly Shannon week on What the Flesh.
She's in it too. She's interviewed.
All right, so what are your numbers then? Matt, actually, what's your number?
8. In spite of Alonso's hate, I like this movie.
What's your number?
Oh, look, I'm in the minority here. If people are loving it, then it's going to be a rave. I give it a 4, and I stand by it.
I'm saying 8 as well.
That didn't sound like a 4.
I give it a 4 because I liked, again, I loved the way they shot Pittsburgh. There were little individual character moments that I thought weren't total crap.
You like Earl?
Man,
I liked Earl. If the movie had been Earl and the dying girl and me, then I think we might have something.
A movie sucks, but the best thing Alonso can say about it is I like the way they shot Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Well, it couldn't totally suck. They got Pittsburgh right.
They nailed Pittsburgh.
It's a beautiful city.
What
Pittsburgh
did
is
Sienna
a beautiful. I
Miller
love
call it?
Pittsburgh.
She called it Shitsburg, and everybody hated her for it. Remember when they were shooting a movie in Pittsburgh, and Sienna Miller trashed it and became a pariah
the factory
in Pittsburgh.
girl. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm giving it an 8 also. So our average is a 6.7, despite Alonso's efforts.
Right. It's about 86 on the tomato meter right now.
All right, so it's probably limited release this week, and it's going to go wider. So I would say go look and find it.
You'll probably like it.
You'll probably cry. Bye.